I always knew that I wanted to do something like that, like focusing on real stories and maybe conveying real stories in some forms. And I was always very concerned about the ethics of taking images of people and conveying them. And I was always really curious about how people make that when I was seeing documentaries, and I wanted just to give it a try at some point and work with that. So it's always have been like some interest for me. Like I was always very curious about how to portray reality at some point, and then how you can bring in some things that are fiction and reality, and where are the borders, and why is not everything actually fiction if we put a camera in front of it because of the editing. And all these questions were always there for me, and for me it's something that is always evolving, and documentary filmmaking is something that is not, it's not something classic that is done, and it's a science that is nothing, it's something very fluid that can be experimented in so many ways, so it has no border in the end. So I think it's a source of inspiration, of creativity, and it gives you so much, and you can make what you want out of it. Yeah. So it's something that is so big that gives too much possibility. I had to choose something quite fast for my master topic, and then I really was looking for something that would challenge me a bit, because I think challenges are a good thing in general. So I really wanted to find something that I can focus and just dig on it. And I had been many times to Latin America. I spent a lot of time there, so I had a good connection with this continent. And then I found randomly in a newspaper in Switzerland a very, very small article about these children who are organized in Bolivia. And then it struck me that something positive, child labor, what is that? And then I did some investigation, contacted some NGOs and organizations working with that to know how it is, where or what. And then I went there straight away for this topic. Yeah. It's about children who work, and they work out of their own will because it makes their life situation better to work beside of going to school. And they have a working union, and they're organized, and it shows more or less a positive perspective on work that is executed by children, and against all the very stereotypical image that the West has of child labor. That is
a very sensible subject in the Western
exactly. It's very sensible, but in the Western society you have also a very flat image of it. You don't see the nuance in that, and you don't see this very thin border between work that is actually productive for children as well, and exploitation. And that's something that needs more differentiate gaze on, because it's bad to say all the work that a child is doing is actually bad, because the children who work out of their own will and see that there is something positive coming out of it, and they're learning something from it, then they will feel a bit confused. They say that what I'm doing is bad, and I learned all these things from the children I was working with in Bolivia. I was just meeting them, and I didn't know so much about it, so I spent time with them and speaking about these topics, and they had a very straight idea about it. Like they know what is good for them, and they know how to change things and how things should be done, and I was very impressed by that, and that's what I tried to picture in this film. But it was also my master film for my thesis, so I had strict rules, so I couldn't be so creative. But I wish I will work again with the same children on the same topic, but on a more free and creative way. I knew that would be something hard, but I couldn't prepare it because I didn't know how these children would react to the camera. And I was quite lucky because I went to a group of children. Some of them already had worked with small cameras with some other institution or organization working with them. So they knew what is it and how it's about. And I tried to have a very flat relationship with the children. Like when I arrived, I just told them, yeah, I'm just here and let's speak a bit, like let's play something or whatever. I really didn't want to have very strict interviews and we're going to speak about this and now you're going to do this. I was really like going there just in an observational way and to see what is happening and trying to communicate with them. And with some children I managed to have more communication because I really expected them to come to speak to me, and I didn't want to force myself into a situation they didn't want me in. So I just tried to trigger their curiosity to come and see the camera, and then I showed them the camera and they could take it and film as well, and then I brought my laptop and we would go through videos. And there were also lots of musicians and the children working, for instance, at the cemetery. And they wanted me to make kind of video clips of them. They wanted to see themselves playing the music and singing. And for them, that was very important. So I could also get their interest through that the camera was a kind of part of me. I always had the camera, so they got used to it. And after a while, it was normal that I was there just pointing my camera wherever. And they would tell me, no, not now. And then I would just stop. But usually it was really natural after a while, yeah. Well, I want to give it a try, but yeah, even I'm from Switzerland, and even there it's not really easy to get into this business because it's not fiction film, it's documentary, and it's a way that a bit everybody can make documentaries if you teach yourself. But it's like this. It's a bit this point of view that is represented in Switzerland. So lots of people want to make documentaries, and you have to get funding, so you have to get finance in some ways, and that's a bit hard. So, but I still want to give it a try to get into this business. I'm doing some kind of internships, getting to know a bit people, and I have a lot of ideas about films that I would like to make, and especially with the same children in Bolivia, I really want to go back and do something more in a, yeah, as I said, free and creative way. And I want to mix also fiction and documentaries and these kind of things. I really like to work with people in general, so I really want to have this project, and I want to give it a try, and I will see if it works out. I mean, I just come out of my studies now, and that's the moment when you can try things, and that's what I'm going to do here. I didn't expect to have so much people in the hall. It was not full, but there were people watching my film, so it was really nice. And I was also happy about the questions that came out afterwards, because this film was more like I wanted just to raise the topic of working children. It's something that can be positive sometimes, and that was a bit the message that I want to convey. And I just want people to think about it. What is the reality there in Bolivia? And I think I managed to achieve this goal at some point, because people told me about that it was really good to think about these perspectives, and also all the questions that came out, what they want to know about the children. It was really nice to speak about this topic, because it's a topic that grew to my heart at some point. So it's really nice to see that people are interested in that in the end, and I was really happy about that. Here you don't see only big production, you see lots of small things that people make, and it's giving some messages that you wouldn't find in other festivals who would show only big productions or only a certain topic. Here you can see a lot of different things, and that's really, really nice as well for the filmmakers and for the public, so people can see lots of things that they couldn't see elsewhere. And I think it's a really nice event, and I'm really glad to be here. Yeah.